Good evening and salutations, my Days of Alive fans. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know where to begin. I really don't. Sometimes I watch these episodes, right? And some of these episodes can rub me such the wrong way that it makes it feel like it's just me. Like I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Yesterday during the live show, I want to thank everyone who did join on Sunday. Um, I was basically saying like Days so far was killing it between all four shows. Days was killing it. Yeah, they have some episodes that may not always be great, and I know somebody was sitting there saying like not every day, every episode is going to be super amazing. But you know what? I'm at a point where I'm torn. Okay, because watching soap operas, it should always leave you not just wanting more, but it should always make it feel like, man, this was much watched TV. And looking back at it, it may be kind of skewed with soap operas. Soap operas don't run on the same course as like a typical TV show. A typical TV show, it really shouldn't be a mixed bag. Like all the episodes should be good in some sort of way. Soap operas, I don't want to sit there and feel like they should get a pass because it's every day, but I guess in reality, it does kind of make some sort of sense. I mean, I look at soap operas with their ups and downs, like I look at my own videos, shows, whatever you want to sit there and call it. As much as I sit there and try to always reach a certain goal, inspire for a certain level of perfection, I understand that not every video is going to be a banger. I wish it was, but I know that's simply just not the case. That doesn't mean that I'm going to sit there and not always try to put 100% to everything that I do. So, I say all this as I do when I talk about a compliment sandwich. So I start something good, say something bad, and kind of end with something good. I don't know what the hell they were doing in this episode. Okay, they had these jokes that just wasn't working. Like, why the hell would you be in the middle of the living room, damn near butt ass naked? I get it. It's a soap opera. It's fantasy. Okay, I do get that. But I'm just like, really? He's standing there with his arm, damn near butt naked, while she's sitting there doing crosswords. What the hell am I watching? What am I? Oh God. And that's supposed to be funny. They always put like the little music when it's supposed to be funny. I'm just like, so this is your sad ass attempt at humor. All right. Well, that was terrible. Um, I wish I could unsee half of that stuff, but guess it is what it is. Talked about how he's going out with two women. He says they're bisexual. She says something along the lines of respect, which I don't even understand where she was going with that. I don't know, was this some sort of little woke message or something? It wasn't like he was. I didn't really understand. I really didn't. All he said was, "I'm going out with two women who are bisexual." Okay, what's the problem? I don't get it. Where was that supposed to be the offensive? Like where in that sentence was it supposed to be offensive? Um, he talks about how well Maggie's like, well, they're in a relationship and you're going to sit there and go out with them. Like what is going on? What's going on? And it's I look at that and I'm just like, how does that make any sense? Like I don't even understand why they agreed to it. I think that's the part which it throws me off so much. Okay, yeah, I can see this guy wants to sit there and hook up with two chicks, and they're attractive and everything like that. They're in a committed relationship, but I can see that. Okay, but I don't get is why they would say yes unless they have some sort of open relationship. And they don't strike me as somebody who has an open relationship. So it's one thing if they're like, hey, like sit there and hang out with you girls sometimes, just really, I'm kind of new, I want to sit there and get to know some people, whatever. That's cool, that's fine. But that's not how it came across. It came across as him literally taking two girls out on a date. And they're just like, yeah, sure, we can do that. What? I think that's why this whole date scene just didn't work for me. Allie, Chanel gets ready, she's looking like she's ready to go out. Allie looked like she's about ready to go to the store. I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? Now she's all insecure, like, oh, you crashing on him. So after they go through that little BS, they finally get ready. They go out. Chanel goes out first. Allie goes out afterwards. And we got to sit there and sit through. And I get it to some extent. But I'm also just like, Google is your friend. Okay? The fact that we all have to sit there and relive, more or less the cliff notes of how they got together was just like, that's how I felt the entire time. Okay, there was one point where, and I don't even know if you said the whole shower thing, because I'm going to be honest, I had to fast forward. You know, I know that there's certain characters that everyone likes and everyone hates, and I get that, And, for me, I can already sit there and tell that I'm not going to like a certain storyline when I see them in the thumbnail. Or the minute I see them, I roll my eyes. You ever just had that, as soon as you saw that one character, you're just like, so imagine that times two. So he says something along the lines of, oh, would you kiss or whatever? And more or less, Allie was like, oh, I thought we were hanging out. I didn't think that, you wanted to say up your little spank bank. Let's be honest, that's literally what she said. She might have said it in a different way and phrased it differently. We don't know what that meant. So after he apologizes, they continue their little walk down memory lane. And then they start kissing. And, let me tell you something. There are things that I would sit there and say as terms. Okay? I'm trying to sit there and say this in the least cruelest way as possible. There are certain things that turn me. I'm not going to sit there and list all of them, but there are certain things that does. Okay? And that is one of them. I mean, it's not really a surprise, but that is one of them. I don't know why, and maybe it's just those two. That the minute they started kissing, I was like, you gotta be. It's something about the whole setup, them going down memory lane, the fact that this date really shouldn't even be a thing, and then it's just like, oh, let's just get all, you know, and the thing that, and the thing that really, now that I think about this, he asked them to kiss. There was, Allie and Chanel was like, yeah, what are you talking about? We're not going to be your little spank bank material. And then less than 2 minutes later, that's literally what they're doing. I'm just like, serious? Just, like, I look at those two, and I look at Tess and Mariah. Right? Now, whenever I see Tess and Mariah, they bore the living hell out of me. Okay? I don't have a problem with either one of those characters. I don't have a problem with their relationship. Those two characters literally bore the living life out of me. Rather, these two just annoy the living hell out of me. I So let's just move on to that scene because, the least I say about it, the better. I don't like to get super negative. I feel like Kristen was wasted in this episode. I'm going to be completely honest. She didn't really do too much of anything except for towards the end. Okay? So having Tony and Anna come over and Anna being like, I didn't really want to be here. And then Kristen's like, what's your problem? And then she starts going through a list of legitimate things. Okay, fine, fair, whatever. But Tony wants to get her back into the house, and Kristen's like, I don't want to do it because I'm not giving up my share, so I'm just gonna hang out here. Anna being the lady that she is super judgmental. Oh, it smells like motor oil and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, okay, Anna, whatever. So while she's bitching and complaining about, I don't know, rich people problems, he just tries to get her back, but, she's not going to budge. And, Anna takes a look and see what she's looking at as far as what's happening. She's like, why are you looking at Stefano for? Why are you looking at his obituary for? It's like, why is it in your goddamn business? What if she was looking at porn? Would you be sitting there like, why are you looking at this for? Why are you like, shut up. After that whole mess, they leave. Anna has a bit of a mouth on her. Okay? And there's times where, and granted, I think everyone has a bit of a mouth on them. But certain things that she said, I felt like it just kind of disrespected Kristen. And to say that stuff straight to her, straight to Tony's face, I'm just like, you realize that you're talking disrespectful to his sister, right? Like, are you just that vapid and that clueless? You really are, aren't you? Yes, you are. Oh, man. So, she thinks that Kristen's up to something. The way she's acting, the fact that she's looking at Stefano's like she's like she's up to something. I'm like, all right, you got a good instinct, but you have no proof. So why don't you just go back to your mansion and you can sit there and talk about rich people stuff. Okay, why don't you do that? I'm sitting there talking hella crazy about Anna, right? I'm pretty sure back in the day, she probably had a much more lovable, relatable, somewhat, and really good, intriguing story. And, like Lucy, who's turned into literally the butt of people's jokes at times, it's kind of a shame. This woman has been on the show, I can't even imagine. And granted, people said that she's always been this kind of ditzy, yada, yada, yada kind of girl. I don't know. Maybe I feel like, the veterans kind of deserve a little bit more than what they're getting. But, see how that happens. Now, Shin is with, Gabby, and one of the things that, after they have sex, because why not? And they talk about Ava, and they talk about how Gabby has more power, and we don't have to sit there and give Ava a job, but then, Gabby's like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to stir the pot too much. So we'll give her something. I don't care if we put her in a mirror room. We'll get her something. Shin is like, why don't you take off the ring? Take off his ring. And then starts talking about Jake and, was Jake ever threatened? Did it bother Jake? And, I guess, Jake came to a conclusion that he knows that Stephanie is what's going to be a part of her life. And that's nothing to be a threat of. As long as she had room for him in his heart, it was going to be okay. Like he can work with that. Um, but ultimately, what it really came down to, and of course, she only realized this after she stopped dating him. Hindsight being 2020, was that he was nothing more than a replacement for Stephanie. Okay? That's all he was. It was just a placeholder, a perfect placeholder as far as looks go for Stephanie. Um, and he talks more, and eventually he kind of just drops the whole thing as far as her, um, getting rid of the ring. I'm just like, I understand why it would bother some people. Okay, I get that, but you have to understand something. When you want to be a part of someone's life, that comes with, those expectations. So if you came into her life and she was wearing that ring, then she's going to be wearing that ring, and you just better either shut the hell up or kick rocks. Okay? Just like if you decide to go out with her, knowing she has a child, you either accept that or you kick rocks. So the fact that he was like, why are you still wearing that ring for? Because she wants to. Any other dumbass questions you want to sit there and ask? Like, seriously? Oh, and the humor don't stop. It don't stop. So after Ava and Jake talk about their naked encounter, because apparently that was supposed to pass for as humor on the show, um, okay. EJ is a very complex individual. And I don't know, maybe doing this, it kind of helps me see a better side to why you can love a character but not co-sign what they do. Now, my audience, the people that watch my channel, understand that. That's great because I don't have to sit there and kind of explain certain things. I do other videos. Did a video on this prank channel called My House is Dirty. Huge fan of them because they're funny as hell, but they take things too far. And of course, obviously, yeah, some of their fans coming on my channel, oh, you're being a hypocrite. And I'm just like, you're like 12. I'm not going to sit there and bother to break down my thesis pretty much to you. You can be a fan of a character, but still not co-sign some of the things that they do. Even if you understand it. There's a certain point where EJ is just being cruel. Okay, there's just no other way to sit there and put it. He's being super phony, making his BS toast. And, with Johnny, I'm glad Johnny put a stop to this. This is one of the very few times I was just like, EJ, I love you, but I'm so glad that he stopped you from just yammering on. You can see the look, the hurt in her eyes. And I get it to some extent as far as family and everything like that. And granted, he didn't know Jake that much. And maybe it's not so much as Jake, but also just trying to own the family name and, outsiders and things of that nature. And he follows some stuff by his father. But, you know, Johnny, I was about to say Jake. Johnny was like, her husband just died. She knows the magnitude of this, what she lost. She doesn't need to be reminded, you know? And when he first came in, he was like, yo, listen, you only spent there having her here for her shares. Now, granted, he changed his mind after that, but he was like, bro, you're only here for a share. It's not sit there and try to act like, I think Johnny has learned when there's a time to speak up with him and when there's a time to just be like, you know what, I'm just not going to really go there. Because GJ has flew off the handle and came at his son a certain way. I don't think, like, as far as hitting him, but just more like, watch your step, like, threaten his own son. As far as trying to be cruel to him. They got a very dynamic, we'll sit there and say. But he shuts it down, he walks off, and, you know, he's like, well, she thanks him, and he was like, oh, you had my back with Ali. And I'm like, it wasn't even so, I look at that, he kept thanking her throughout the dinner when he talked about Chanel and how he gave up his quest because, well, it was just a bad idea anyway, but he gave up his quest. And he was like, well, she had my back. And I was like, I don't think she really had your back. I think she just voiced her anger on the fact that, she moved on so fast. That's literally what she did. It was literally like damn near a week and a half. And she's like, well, I think it's time to start dating again. You want to date? You want to go out? You want to have fun? Yay, good. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, this guy just like practically jumped out of a window to sit there and save my life. But you want to date? So many reasons why I do not like Ali. And I'm just... So, her thing was more just getting at Ali. And I understood that. I understood Ali taking a stand, being like, you're not going to disrespect me. We're not going to have that sort of animosity when you come and sit there and see your grandchild. I wasn't entirely too comfortable with the fact that she was like, if you don't stop disrespecting me, then, well, I guess it made some sort of sense. Like, part of me was just like, you're using that child as some sort of bargaining chip. This way she won't go off on you how she feels. But I do understand a certain level of disrespect and how your son would sit there and look at that like, you just allow her just disrespect you just to see me? I'll tell that lady to kick rocks. So I get it. Oh yeah, Gabby went to that bar and she was on her phone and I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember where it went because, Ali and Chanel. I had to just fast forward past that. But I feel like that's about it. I feel like that's the most pertinent information. It's been a while since I actually did a 22-something minute video. I have so much to say. But I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I started off a certain way because I'm going to be completely honest. When I turned this on to do my video, I was like, I had so much negativity. I have so much negativity. And while I don't want to sit there and hold back on the things I say, I also don't want to be the person that's just like being negative for 22 minutes straight. That's just not good mentally. And I don't think anyone wants to watch that. Hell, even if people did, I don't think I would want to do it. So, glad that my whole mood kind of mellowed out. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. If you can share this video, that really would be so appreciated. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Limited to us in the comment section below. And I will see everyone in the next video.